which were not my people, you are my people, and they will say, you are my God. Now, the book of 1 Peter is written to the northern kingdom in exile. We can tell that by the words that are written in this letter. Let's look at it more closely. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5 says, you also are lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Jesus Christ, or Yeshua HaMashiach. Now notice this, which in time past were not a people. How do you say not a people in Hebrew? Lo ami. Who in time past were not a people? The northern kingdom. In Hosea 1, the prophecy is, you're not my people. But now you are the people of God. Meaning you will now believe that Yeshua is the Messiah. You had not obtained mercy. What people had not obtained mercy? The northern kingdom in Hosea 1 and their judgment. But now you have obtained mercy, fulfilling Hosea chapter 2, verse 23. So you can see he's writing to a people, and the only way that the words he's saying can be true is if they are of the northern kingdom, because those words were written to the northern kingdom. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 1 says, Peter, an apostle, or you might think of it this way, he's a fisherman, fishing for the exiles of Israel. To the strangers scattered. Who are scattered in the nations? The exiles of Israel. Why are they strangers? Because they went from being his people at Mount Sinai to no mercy, not my people. They're strangers scattered. Notice we're being told where they're living, and he's addressing those exiles in Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, Bithynia. You know, Paul wrote a letter to the Galatians. There were those from the northern kingdom who lived in Galatia. And now he says regarding them, you are elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father through sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience and the sprinkling of the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach. Now how can we further prove that this letter was written to the northern kingdom? Because in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 13, it says, the church that is at Babylon. You see the word church that is? It's in italics, which means it's not in the text. What the text says is, the at Babylon, elected together with you, salute you. Who is in Babylon that is elect, that's elected with those in Galatia? And who is called in the Bible elect? He's writing to the northern kingdom because he's saying, hey, by the way, the southern kingdom who is in Babylon, elected together with you, they also salute you. We see elect means picked out or chosen. In Israel, or the house of Jacob, is referred to as the elect of the God of Israel. Isaiah 45, verse 4. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect. This is the Hebrew word bacher, which means choice one, chosen, or elect of God. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, Peter is writing and saying these words, but you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people. Those are the words that were said to the house of Jacob at Mount Sinai. For you are a holy people unto the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 10, the prophets who prophesied of the grace that would come upon you. Who did the prophets prophesy that grace would come upon? It was the exiles of Israel. The grace is that they would be forgiven of their sins. The Messiah would come and redeem them. And so we see a couple scriptures where the prophets prophesied of the grace that would come to the northern kingdom. In Jeremiah 31, verse 20, is Ephraim, that is northern kingdom, my dear son? Is he a pleasant child? For since I spoke against him, in Hosea he was spoken against. I do earnestly remember him still. I will surely have mercy upon him, says the Lord. Hosea 2:23, written to the northern kingdom. I will sow her unto me in the earth, and I will have mercy upon her that had not obtained mercy. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 18, he's writing and he's saying to these of the northern kingdom, scattered in the areas mentioned, for as much as you know You were not redeemed with corruptible things as silver and gold from your vain conversation, received by the tradition from your fathers. You see, the people that he's writing to, he's saying that you have a tradition from your fathers, which you're not saved by that tradition. What is that tradition? It is what we call today Rabbinic Judaism. We call it the Mishnah or the oral law. The oral law, the Mishnah, the Talmud, is referred to as the tradition. And he's writing them and he's saying, you're not saved by that. You're saved by the precious blood of Messiah as a lamb without blemish and without spot. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 25, he's writing and he's explaining that you were as sheep going astray. How did they go astray? They broke the covenant. They got exiled in the nations of the world. You were going astray, but you have now returned unto the shepherd and bishop of your soul. How did they return to him? Because Yeshua is the lawgiver. He gave the law at Mount Sinai. They didn't keep his covenant. They were exiled in the nations, but now they're receiving his forgiveness of sins by him shedding his blood on the tree, and they're returning, believing he's the Messiah. Jeremiah 50, verse 6 and verse 17. My people have been lost sheep. You were as sheep going astray. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. Israel is a scattered sheep. First, the king of Assyria has devoured him. Paul wrote to the 10 tribes in Rome. Romans chapter 9, verse 24 through 26. Even us whom he has called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. Not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles, as he says in Hosea. Wait a second. Gentiles, as he says in Hosea? The book of Hosea wasn't written to Gentiles. So when he says you've been called, and he says not of the Jews only, but the Gentiles, as he says in Hosea, the context of the word Gentile here is the northern kingdom. As he says in Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her beloved, which were not beloved. And it will come to pass that in the place where it was said, you are not my people, there they shall be called the children of the living God. Now, Paul is going to go on to explain in Romans 10 and Romans 11 how the northern kingdom, when they receive Yeshua as Messiah, they have a mandate to provoke the southern kingdom or Judah to jealousy. Romans chapter 10, verse 19, but I say, did not Israel, that's referring here to Judah or the southern kingdom, didn't they know? For first Moses said, I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people. And so the prophecy is in Exodus chapter 32 and verse 21, where Moses with the Torah prophesied that Judah would be provoked up to jealousy by a people who would be regarded as not a people. Who became regarded as not a people? The northern kingdom. Hosea chapter 1. And by a foolish nation will I anger you. Why is the northern kingdom called a foolish nation? Because they don't want to follow Torah. So a people who doesn't want to follow Torah, yet will believe that I'm the Messiah, is going to cause you to be jealous. But not when they don't follow Torah, or they got to cause the Jew to be jealous. It's only when they return to Torah that Judah will become jealous. Deuteronomy 32, verse 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those that are not a people. So Paul then says in Romans chapter 10, verse 20, Isaiah is very bold when he made this declaration, I have found of them that sought me not, I was made manifest unto them that ask not of me. He's quoting Isaiah 65, verse 11. I am sought of them that ask not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, unto a nation not called by my name. Who's a nation not called by his name? The northern kingdom in their judgment. Hosea chapter 1. So Paul then explains, has God cast away Judah, the southern kingdom, the Jewish people? The answer is no. Has God cast away his people? God forbid. For I am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. And he identifies with the southern kingdom. So he hasn't cast them away. Look, I'm a believer. I'm Jewish. And I say, have they stumbled that they should fall? Did the southern kingdom or the Jews not realize that Yeshua is the Messiah so that they would be eternally condemned? God forbid. But rather through their fall, salvation has come unto the Gentiles to provoke them to jealousy. The context of what he's explaining, the Gentiles that salvation has come unto, is the northern kingdom, who would believe that Yeshua is Messiah and would be called sons of the living God. Romans chapter 11, verse 12 and verse 15. Now, if the fall of them be riches of the world, well, how did the world get rich? Because Judah didn't believe he's the Messiah? Because all the whosoevers in the world had an opportunity to be grafted in and receive Yeshua as the Messiah through the fall. And the diminishing of them, the riches of the Gentiles, that is the northern kingdom, got to believe that Yeshua is the Messiah. How much more their fullness, or when Judah does believe that Yeshua is the Messiah? For if the casting away of them, that is Judah or Jews not believing that Yeshua is the Messiah, meant the reconciliation of the world, what shall be the receiving of them? What will be the case when the southern kingdom or the Jewish people believe that Yeshua is the Messiah? This will be the result: life from the dead. But what life from the dead is he talking about? The prophecy in the prophets that the dead bones of Ezekiel 37, the whole house of Israel, that they will come to life and they will leave the nations where they've been exiled and return back to the land of Israel. That's the resurrection of the dead. So Ezekiel chapter 37, it talks about dry bones. Verse 11, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Now we go on to see the resurrection from the dead. It says, Ezekiel 37, verses 12 through 14, therefore prophesy, say to them, thus says the Lord God, O my people, I will open your graves. See, that's a resurrection from the dead. I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. Where's the graves? The nations of the world where they've been scattered. Bring you back to the land of Israel. And you will know that I am the Lord when I have opened your graves. That is a prophecy that they will know that Jesus is the Messiah when he's gathered the exiles of Israel. O my people, and brought you up out of your graves. And I will put my spirit in you, and you will live, and I will place you into your own land. In Jeremiah chapter 11, verses 16 and 17, the literal house of Jacob is likened to an olive tree. Jeremiah 11, verse 16, the Lord called your name a green olive tree. Now look what the last part of the verse says. The branches of it are broken. Who is this green olive tree who has broken branches? Jeremiah 11, verse 17. The house of Israel and the house of Judah. Notice we have an olive tree, who's the house of Israel and house of Judah, and the branches of it are broken. How are these broken branches got to get mended? That's what Paul explains in Romans 11, through the redemptive work of Yeshua the Messiah. So in Jeremiah 11, we're talking about a literal house of Jacob, consisting of a literal house of Israel and a literal house of Judah. In Romans 11, Paul explains through the redemptive work of Yeshua the Messiah how there are going to be a redeemed house of Jacob, those that believe that Yeshua is the Messiah, consisting of wild branches and natural branches. And what Paul explains in Romans chapter 11 is both the wild branches and the natural branches are grafted in. You know, what's been emphasized in traditional Christianity is the non-Jews been grafted in, which is true. But what we've missed is that the natural branches, when they believe, they are grafted in. In other words, all believers in Yeshua as the Messiah are grafted in. Romans 11 verse 17 tells us that the wild branches are grafted in, but only 7 verses later, Romans 11 verse 24, we're told this: for if you were cut out of the olive tree which is wild by nature, and you were grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these which be the natural branches be grafted into their own olive tree? The next time you see a Jewish believer, realize they're grafted in, just like you. Why?